And now the Bonfire with Big J Okerson.
The wrong right thing. Yeah,
I thought she's like she'll never leave you out of fear because she was molested.
No,
viciously.
Dawn was never molested. I wish she was. She'd be a little more kinky in the bedroom.
I know, right?
Yeah, tit, puss, lick, eat.
Good night.
Bobby, wait, are you talking about my new game that's taking over the world, Mouth, Pussy, Ass, Hand? Here's 5 guys. Who gets hand, who gets mouth, pussy, and ass? Mouth, pussy, ass, hand. Everyone's new favorite game. America's new favorite game.
I do love that game. I wish we did consult with you before our game.
You like Green Day?
I like Green Day. I do.
I don't really seem to like them.
I don't like them.
When I heard them on Howard, I didn't find it any even more appealing. And usually a good interview from Howard will make you go like, okay. They make me like the guy from LFO on Howard Stern. He was great. Ryan Filippi, he made great on Howard Stern. I don't know, man. Those guys just like their thing. I think they're like whatever people that would hate ZZ Top. I can see him having the same argument here.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-man band that just writes the same song 75 times. And I like ZZ Top though.
Well, maybe I'll hate them.
But I don't like this.
Well, maybe I'll hate them. Tell me why you think they wrote the same 3 songs?
Let me tell you why.
American Idiot.
I hate his. If you're gonna do the thing, do the thing. Marilyn Manson. Next time I see him, I don't care if he's 70. Put the fucking makeup on. Dude, I think he lost weight too, Marilyn Manson. It looks like he's skinny in pictures I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Which, hey, maybe I'm wrong, Jacob. I didn't say I'm betting on it, but he looks pretty skinny in pictures, Marilyn Manson.
When Christina's YouTube up, she has the same thumbnail photo of him with a giant chin.
Who?
Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yeah.
It's always in the corner, and it just looks terrible.
Yeah, for sure. But his new pictures he's putting out, he looks pretty slim. I think he's sober, too.
I like Green Day.
But here's the thing, Green Day's thing, I don't believe when he puts the dark around his eyes, when his thing just like...
They come from punk rock, though. They were a hardcore punk rock band, and their fans originally
No, it was always that kind of punk rock.
No, they were punk. They had a punk rock
It's
face.
this kind of punk.
Mall punk.
Yeah.
Beach punk.
I like beach punk.
I love
Do you like real punk? Do you like Circle Jerks and Minor Threat
Love
and all
Circle
those guys?
Jerks.
Like
You
all
know
the
that.
hardcore dickhead fucking...
Dude, we should get a garage and do some up in fucking Westchester.
I like Circle Jerks with...
Come on.
I like Circle Jerks with Mega Threat. I don't want Minor Threat, dude. I want Mega Threat.
Mega Threat. I don't like Green Day because it just reminded me of the people that like Green Day in high school.
Listen, I got the album. I got the Dookie album.
I like Dookie album.
And it's like, listen, they're good. I'm never disputing that. If you've made it that level, you're not good as a band. Their thing has just never been. Yeah. I like Red Hot Chili Peppers more than them, and I do not really dig that either.
I think I don't know. I think I like them the same, but I think I would rather go see. I'd rather go see Red Hot Chili Peppers live than Green Day.
Sure.
Because I don't want to be bouncing up and down the whole fucking time.
No.
But
you want to see Flea's wiener. It's been your thing.
100%.
I have to say, I've seen Green Day twice, but I saw them on the American Idiot tour, and it blew me away. It was one of the best concerts I've been to. I mean, they just perform their asses
I bet they do.
off.
Listen, I think Blink-182 sucked shit,
unbelievable.
but I saw them live just by chance because they were part of a festival. Blink-182, and I was like, when I walked out of there, I was like, I mean, they were fun live.
Yeah,
They put on a show.
That's about the time you were my girl.
I love that too.
In the mall.
And then I said I met you at the mall.
I love that music too. I love voices. I love songs that
I fingered you in the dressing room at Forever 21.
You got dropped off by your dad.
I love it.
Blink-182 and Green Day are like the same.
Also, that music ages so bad, which is the funniest thing in the world. I like that so much. Having to watch Disturbed go on stage now in that song, is it Voices? We're in the middle of it. Or no, it might be their most famous. In the middle, if he does the whole song, he has to go, "No, mommy, I don't want to do this. Ow, stop, just I want to live my life. Just let me, please don't hurt me, mommy, you hurt me. Ow." And then he starts going, "Mommy, you gotta die. Die." It's just so like a...
That is silly.
Papa Roach has to go, "I know my mother loves me, but does my daddy even care?"
Right before the show, he's on the phone with his dad's nurse.
He's 57.
Got great temples. Dude, it's so funny to see that.
He's like, "No, Dad, I love you. We'll play Pinochle tomorrow. I'm about to walk on stage."
Oh my God. Older adult, mature adult, teenage angst. You still have to bring it up on stage.
Yeah, that is silly. I guess.
I think Korn almost, when I see their set list, they kind of shy away. They really don't play the teenager angst, "You Hurt Me, Daddy" songs. They really don't play those too much. They just kind of do like the, newer stuff and shit that makes sense, but like not too much of like the depressy,
right?
Like shit at all. But I mean, some of these bands, their biggest thing was that.
I mean, that was their whole career. A lot of them.
You know what I mean? It's so funny to have a song called "Last Resort" about killing yourself. Everyone in the band's still kicking it.
Well, that's like the Who.
Alive and
Like, I
kicking.
hope I die before I get old. Yet they're doing like 5 reunion tours. It's like Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey get wheeled out there, and they're like, "I hope I die today."
He goes, "We won't be fooled again." He goes, "Although I did get messed with this African banking scam recently because I don't understand how Facebook works. Looks like I got fooled again."
Tip my hat to the new revolution that doesn't like the vaccine because it's probably fake.
Yeah, it's also too, rock stars get older and become like Republican-y. Like they do become right-wing
Van
guys.
Morrison and Eric Clapton both got all fucking political. It's like, all right, Van Morrison, you fucking Blarney Stone, yeah.
I think I speak for John Lennon when I say he would have loved Trump 2024.
Imagine America great again.
Without Yoko.
Imagine America great. Imagine America great again.
Imagine borders shut down.
Kanye West is vice president.
Imagine white people in the kitchen.
It's easy if you try.
Imagine no voter fraud.
Is this Green Day live? Is this what you saw?
No, I can't find a clear video from what I saw. This is the 2015 Hall of Fame.
Oh God,
that blew me away. When I saw Green Day was inducted in the Hall of Fame, I was like, number one, I'm old. Number two, how the fuck were they old enough to be in the Hall of Fame?
They're old.
9 years
I know.
ago
I didn't
they were
realize
inducted.
it.
They're what is it? They've been around for 30 years.
93?
94,
What's it?
93,
18 years
94.
after your
93 or 4, yeah. For
18
sure.
years
I thought
after
it
your
was-
They've been
first
famous
album?
since
Or
then,
24?
right?
25.
That's when that album came out, and they were famous immediately after that album.
It has to be 20
Yeah, what you were saying
years.
before about
Is
their
that what it
fans
was,
turning
20
on
years?
them because it's the perfect. I think I told you that, where it's like it's the perfect example of when they did say Ellen Stern. I found that interesting. It's like people want to possess something when it's small, but their job when they're your fans, though, when you do that level, is to go spread the word and be like, dude,
Yeah.
you got to hear this new band. And then when they go, they are great, they're popular. Everyone's like, fuck those sellout pieces of shit. It's exactly, you can't help it.
Yeah, that's like Bargatze's joke. He's like, I don't hate Walmart. It's just a mom and pop that made it.
Yeah. It was the mom and pop store that made it. Yeah, at some point it was just a store.
Yeah.
No, they had Kerplunk came out in 91, and
Yeah, but they've
they've been popular since 94.
Dooky's the album.
Yeah.
I like how
The album is
Well,
Dookie.
nothing
Yeah,
came off of
Dookie.
Kerplunk.
That's when
No.
they were like you were talking about, Bobby. That's when they were playing like skate
You
parks.
could, you
and-
can tell.
Play a little
that's-
Kerplunk.
Their album is fan art.
Yeah, totally.
Play
That's some-
Kerplunk. I bet it sucks dick.
It's exactly what. It's exactly. This is Green
Dookie.
Day. This is Dookie Part 1.
Said they'll be blue blue, sclumbalooby doo,
Skateboard
wanky danky blue sea bloppy. They're from California.
Hang on.
chain wallet.
Welcome to Paradise is on here.
Horizontal stripes on my shirt.
Spiky hair.
Opera, so it was like a whole new
Is
piece,
it a
and
rock
was like a
opera?
grown-up thing.
What's the opera
Let
about?
her get it out before you turn
What's
on
the
her.
opera
No, in the
about?
same way like Tommy is a rock opera. Like,
But
it
I
has
know
a
the
whole
story of
theme.
Tommy. What's the story of American Idiot?
The American Idiot.
Similar to Tommy.
He left his.
Yeah.
He left his
Everyone,
Pacific
you are
Sunwear.
letting, you are letting
I'm
her off
telling
so
you.
easy.
Hang on.
I go, what is the thing? Only Jacob caught it.
He left
I
his
go, what's
Pacific
the sto-
Sunwear bag at Wetzel's Pretzels.
I said, what's the story of American Idiot? She goes, American Idiot.
It's about an idiot from America.
What's it about?
I don't know it that well. I
You
just know
saw
it's
it
a rock-
live.
I did see it live, and I knew the album, but I'm
You
like,
can't
I
call it a
don't
rock
like-
opera. It's not a rock opera.
Jay, that
it
was in her
was. That was what it
sniffing
was.
glue
Well,
days.
read
was
the
on-
synopsis right there.
It was on Broadway, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah, it was. It was. That's
What's
like
the-
what that type of
read it.
dubbed a
punk
punk
rock.
rock opera
Okay.
by the band members.
Follows the story of Jesus of Suburbia.
Yeah, the lower middle class American adolescent anti-hero. It expresses the delusionment and descent of a
Hate it.
generation that came
How,
of age.
how do you
It's just
hate
like-
anything? You're a Dead fan.
Because the Dead's
True.
great.
That's just
Let's
bullshit.
get into it, Bobby. I've been dying. I tell you, I bite
Dead.
the steering wheel sometimes when I hear you talk about the Dead.
Listen, the Dead stink.
No, they don't.
They suck.
No, they don't.
I hate the
Why
way-
does Bobby's? I
Yeah.
don't like the Grateful Dead.
I don't. Grateful Dead doesn't like you.
But it doesn't make
How
you
do you
want to
know?
bite the steering wheel. Why does Bobby's? Because I got to be honest with you, we're trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with Bobby. Because individually, there's a few people that just come at him for no goddamn
I love
reason.
him. I'm scared to death of him.
That's what I'm saying.
Scared
You're
of
scared
me?
to death.
Yeah.
What
Why are
is
you
Bobby
scared of
putting
me?
out there
Because
that I'm
your
not seeing?
eyes-
Because he seems like the most gentle soul.
I love you, and
Why are you
and
scared of me?
Well, because I don't know. I think early on I
What?
wanted
Could
you
you
to
kill it,
like
Will?
me, and I didn't get invited to your picnics, and then I'm like,
That
Bobby
fucking
doesn't-
barbecue really fucked up a lot of people.
yeah.
It's the burden of being the barbecue person. I've lived it.
Yeah, but it really fucked up a lot of people. Like, still have shit against me for not inviting.
I don't
me to
have
the party.
shit against
I
you.
invited 60 people to the party.
Wait, which barbecue?
My
Wow,
barbecue.
All
that's a
of them?
lot of
60
people to
people,
not
we
be
weren't
one
invited?
of them.
You were invited.
Bobby,
you were there.
don't say those kind of numbers, buddy. That's crazy. When you say a number like that, if you go,
No, you
dude,
have-
I had
you
25
invited
people. You went, I invited friends of friends of friends.
No, you have to split.
Dude, I rented
yeah.
my neighbor's house to invite more people.
You were, dude, you were 63 though.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'm not scared.
You had. I had half of. It was Max's birthday, so it's half his friends and their dumb parents.
Oh, and you know Mike's not allowed to be that close
and
to
then,
little boys.
and then my group of friends. But I've had two groups of friends: Colin Quinn, Rich Voss, Keith Robinson, Jim Norton. That's my group with whoever they brought,
You combine those worlds?
and then Jay.
You're like Keith and
Lewis,
Max's friends.
Lewis, Joe, Dan. I had to invite.
Well, can I say something about
Yeah.
this sectioning?
Well,
you've done?
I didn't section you guys. You guys are my friends, my groups of friends. One's from a different generation. The other one's from a younger generation.
But and I mean, it's a real question.
Yeah.
Where do I fall? Exactly. It's an interesting question because when you describe those two groups, I'm like, it seemed like in the beginning of my career, I would be sitting at the table with you, Keith,
But before
Voss,
you,
blah blah blah, because I was in, but I also was like I was young in that world, so I kind of like the friends I made were the people doing exactly what I was doing, and also slightly behind. You know what I mean? Like Dave and Lewis being a couple years behind me.
right, exactly. So I sat at that table with Billy, Patrice, Keith, Voss, Norton, Colin, Geraldo for a number of years
Before we ever
and
showed up.
Before you were there,
Yeah.
we were kind of that thing, being at the cellar, and then you guys started trickling in.
Yeah,
Then-
when we came there, it was known like you want to go, like, Keith. You guys are coming, and I'm bringing you to the back table.
the table didn't exist when we started.
Yeah, it was
ju-
just,
it was
that,
just-
back table, and,
and
and
the
then
cellar
eventually
was-
they put a piece of paper on it that said for the comics.
The cellar was a shitty club.
Yeah.
It was the
No, I always thought
the
people-
bad club to work in the city. The Strip was the main club to work.
I like the
Comic
strip a lot, but when I came here though, the thing to get into was the cellar because of the level of comic that was there. It was like every other club in the sense that it was done like by the time it got to midnight, it was like any other club that would happen where the show has been going since 9 p.m. And or 7 p.m. if they didn't make it 2 shows, but the 9 o'clock would go to like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so people were genuinely, some people trickle in, but by midnight, it was somewhere like 40 people there. And then by the time I would go on, many times, like 12 to 20 people there. Like
It's crazy. that
Before
it was
you
just
showed
one long
up,
show.
I was the 145 spot.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
or Garfield would always be either or. 145.
It would be me and Attell for the longest time.
And then when you guys came up, I was hosting. I think I started. Was I hosting at that point?
No, you were spots.
I hosted a lot of years too.
That was almost, I hosted too. That was sort of the way in at
That was
first.
the way
It was the host.
if you were really funny, she'd make you a host because you could go up and after anybody and keep the show going.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that
But then
seemed
when
like
you
the
guys
true way
came in, I became friends with you first. Then I think Joe. You and Joe we started becoming friends. Me and Joe became really close.
DeRosa, yeah,
Well, he
yeah.
lived in my neighborhood. And
Well,
then-
Joe, I brought from Philly. Joe moved in with me.
Right. And
out of
then-
Philly. And I brought him. That was your first time meeting him, was that gig. I asked you guys if I could bring DeRosa to
right.
this college with us. If you wouldn't mind, he could like almost host it because I was going to open for him and Bill Burr at small college show, whatever. And we did it, and that was the night we went to that strip club that was definitely a house.
Troy, New York.
And DeRosa DeRosa was kicked out because he spoke to the manager about the girl giving like a shitty lap dance for the money he gave.
You're supposed to get right when they they announced 2 lap dances for the price of 1.
Oh my
They'd also, by the way, told us at one point at time we were there for like 10 minutes or so, and then they go, something got different, and they closed a door.
That was me, because I went to the owner. I go, hey,
can we smoke?
Because right when New York was like, you can't smoke inside. I go, hey, can we smoke? And then he did a Bronx tale. He goes, went over the door, locked it. He goes, you can now.
Yeah.
Locked the door, and I just lit up and started smoking. It was the best.
It's a house. It's a row home. It's attached. It was called Cloud 9. I'll never forget that. And it's just next to it is a house.
Yeah.
Shit neighborhood.
Wow.
It was a shit neighborhood.
They had glass windows in the front, like a storefront.
Yeah.
But they were just blacked out.
Yeah.
So we actually walked by and go, what's this? And we heard music, and we went in and we're like, oh, it's a strip club. Holy shit. It was like, I think 2 people there. Maybe one.
It was
dude.
light.
It was light.
It was like, but I mean, the stage, like the steps upstairs were like house steps upstairs. What's crazy about the whole thing is, as much as this was a house, when you walk out, there's a gift shop.
A gift shop?
No.
Like
It was
like a DVD store.
It was a porn
store, yeah.
Porn store with dildos.
Like a strip club gift
shop. So you
shop.
walk
That's great.
in the front, out the back, and it was porn and dildos.
So, but what happened was, I never told you the story before. This
Troy,
is
New
great.
York,
so
huh?
we're there, and the show's great, by the way. They locked that door. These girls took their bottoms off, started dildoing.
No, what happened was, as soon as they locked the door, they knew they had a bunch of young bucks in there, and the stage was a pit.
Yeah.
It was a pit.
Right in front of the stairs.
So all of a sudden, the guy was like on the radio, guys, get ready for what's going to happen. And the girl went and got a duffel bag.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they went up, 2 girls into the pit, and they started going nuts. And then they started taking out stuff from the bag, and they started to do it. But as they're doing more progressively worse stuff in the pit, they would dim the lights down. So we're sitting there, and they're dimming the lights, and then as soon as it got to it, they were just about to put something in. The girl was about to put something in the other girl. They'd be like, the lights would go so far down. They'd be like, if you want the lights up, start tipping, fellas.
Oh, wow.
And we just started throwing, and as you threw more money in, the lights went back up. And they did that like 3 times.
We're having a ball. I don't even like strip clubs, but we're having a ball.
It was the greatest strip club night ever.
And they go, I don't know, where DeRosa liked strip clubs, I guess, at the time, because like he didn't have any more money than I had. And we got, when they say things like 2-for-1 lap dances, that doesn't even register with me, because I'm like, no, I'm here at the table with the guys. Like,
they got us all whipped up with this dildo, dimming the lights, bringing it back up. We were at the end of it. They were like, all right, guys, 2-for-1 lap dances upstairs, private show. So I went over to smoke, because I'm not really into lap dances. I think they're annoying.
Yeah.
And DeRosa went up. I think Burr went up too.
Maybe, but DeRosa definitely went up.
Yeah, he went up, and then I think me and you were smoking. Yeah. We're just sitting there smoking, and all of a sudden we see the girl come running down, and then DeRosa behind her, and he's got that DeRosa, I can smell shit, but I don't know where it is face.
Yeah.
And he walks over and he starts talking to the manager.
Who's this little fat guy in a suit?
And he got. I guess he went up not as fast, so he got a 1.5.
The song started.
Well, no, but somewhere he complained about something about.
She didn't do a whole 2 songs.
She didn't do a whole 2 songs, but the guy starts making it out like Joe's complaining about the level of like
dance
grinding, particularly that she did. So this guy, what we keep hearing is the guys. So at one point we're looking over, me and Bobby, we're smoking. We're all having. It's very fun play. We found this little weird hole in the wall. It's going to be a story forever.
Right. Across the street from our hotel.
Yeah, we don't know why the story is happening. And and like, or where the story's going to come from, and this is it. We see the Mario, and we're just kind of half paying attention, like what's done, and then you hear the guy starts going over the music. Listen, she's not just going to grind all over your lap for $20. And he's like,
the
no,
word
I'm not
grind
saying.
Really got under Joe's skin.
Yes, because
and he was like, I don't want her to grind. I just paid for 2 dances, 2-for-1. I got a dance and a half. He goes,
she's not just gonna grind all over your leg.
He stopped saying grind. He literally said that. He goes,
sir, we can't just have you up there with a girl grinding all over your lap.
Stop saying grind.
Dude, Joe eventually goes, Joe eventually goes, "Stop saying it!" Like he got flustered, and then they go and they asked Joe basically to leave, so we all leave. As we're leaving, this is a story that we usually only tell the last part of, because as we're leaving, in the gift shop, Bobby, the only one of us who has a laptop at this stage of the game at all, he goes, "Oh, I got my laptop." He goes, and Bobby just buys a porn DVD, and this is it. I love telling stories of this because, again, when people have been around for so long, it's like gullible young Joe DeRosa didn't know these guys yet. I did. And I know Bobby, and I've been on the road with Bobby at this point already. And that's when we get a call. Me and Joe go in our room, and Bobby's like, he's got his own room. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go jerk off to my porn DVD. You fucking guys sit there with your thumbs up your ass." And then we get a phone call 20 minutes later. And, or no, not a phone call. The door knocks.
I went out and knocked on their door.
He knocked on the door, and then
they were right next to me.
I go, "It's Bobby." And or he called. You did call first. You go, like, answer your door. You like answer your door or something.
No. I went over to your door. I knocked on it and ran back to my room. And then
Joe opens it.
Joe opens the door, and there was a.
He goes, "All it is." He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "Oh, it's like there's just like a rag on the doorknob." I go,
face cloth.
I go, "Joe, Bobby jerked off into that." And he goes, "No, he didn't." And then Bobby called us laughing. And of course it is. How did Joe not know that? Bobby's load towel.
Bobby's load towel.
You're the father of an 11-year-old now.
That's amazing.
Those when people remind you of things like that, you go, "What have I done?" Like I have an adult child who looks up to me.
Hey, what's up? I'm BK Burglar, Bob Kelly, a.k.a. The Rooster.
I'm Big J. Okerson. I only have one AKA.
I'm a cowboy.
Look, if you love the Bonfire, which we know you do, this is just half of the show. That's it.
Right. This is the podcast version, everybody. So if you want to hear the whole thing, go to SiriusXM.com/bonfire to get the whole thing.
Yeah, you get tons of other entertainment, too. It's not just us. You got other shows that you can go to after you listen to our show. You can go to all kinds of other shows. And you know what? Tell a friend.
But most importantly, this show.
Yeah, this show. Just go to this show.
Do something resembling anything.
That's amazing. I love
Mike Finoia's here, by the way. We didn't introduce the show at all. We came out of the gates hot.
Did you go to Stags when you were younger? In Boston, did they have bachelor parties or Stags?
I went to one at an Italian restaurant.
I've never heard the term. Actually, I've heard the term, and I just thought it was another term for bachelor party. But Mike's told me the whole thing of. I don't understand what they are.
It's a whole. I grew up going to I went too young to these stags, and it was at like a VFW. Instead of a bachelor party, we would have a stag where they'd rent like a hall, get kegs. The wives would make like trays of sausage and peppers and baked ziti and shit, right? Everyone would bring stuff for a raffle, and you'd go in. It would be like $20 a ticket, and then you'd buy an arm's length of raffle tickets. And after dinner, they'd do a raffle, and all the money would go to the groom. And everyone's drinking, having a good time. When the old guys left and the kids left, that's when the strippers came. Yeah. And there would be a dude with a duffel bag, and he would basically, she'd go in the bathroom and blow dudes or jerk dudes off, whatever. Yeah. There would be this ring of shame from the last stag. So the brother-in-law that got a little too wasted and tried to fuck a stripper last time is now sober, drinking ginger ale in the way back, going I can't get my brother-in-law's watching, if my wife finds out, whatever. But it's levels of shame all the way down, and you can
I like that it gets to that though, that it gets that deep. From the kids are there, sausage and peppers, big ziti face painting. That eventually it goes to fucking the bed. I was almost going to say, I feel like the stag is much more docile in a sense because some of the ladies are there, but it eventually gets to prostitution.
It got to the point where it was dude, I saw
I don't
some
mind
shit.
That.
It almost I don't want to say it ruined strippers for me, but
we would just send the kids away and smoke pot.
15,
no one got laid.
12, 13, 14, and I'm seeing a chick freelance on a table over here where nobody's even double-headed dildo. She's got her fucking hair in baked ziti with cigarette butts put in it and shit. She's just a mess waiting to just, what
a great life
fire
you had,
extinguisher.
Dude.
One time they flipped a chair over and she put a chair leg upper cooch,
With a
but there was a
condom, right?
gum. There was old gum stuck to the bottom of the fucking leg.
Did she have did she put a condom on the chair leg, or she just put the chair leg?
I gotta tell you, I'm thinking right. I don't remember her putting a condom on that.
She's raw dog the chair leg. Did she bring the chair?
No.
Is that no. Is that her old fucking chair?
This is her fucking old left leg. But no, I mean, it got radical. And everyone, like, people would, like, just grab their chairs and circle, and the chick would just lay on the ground, go to town, and dudes would just fucking, like, launch dollars at her. And the old man that, like, there'd always have to be one guy at, like, the American Legion or whatever who's just, like, his cock don't work, but he's like working the keg, making people fucking, whiskey sours and shit, like Stag drinks.
I went to one of the Italian restaurants I used to work at. Someone got married and they locked the door one night and they had the girl in the bathroom. And I got shuffled into the bathroom with her.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it. I was like, this is fucking wrong.
My uncles are there and all these people are there. And I'm like, this is weird. And also, like, you're watching the dude that's getting way too into it, who's now a cautionary tale to you. And it's like, don't be that dude. Where he's almost like elbowing people out of the way to get like a better view of her tits.
I already lost my family to some of this.
I actually started talking to the girl. I was like, you good? Like, is everything all right? She's like, I'm fine, honey. And
I did that at a bachelor party.
dude.
I swear to God, I did that at the bachelor party once. The stripper took me into the thing, and instead of fucking, she went there to fuck, and I went in there. I was like, I'll do it. Someone like paid for me at this party. It wasn't my bachelor party either. It was like another person's bachelor party. They paid for me, and I went in there, and it started just like weirdly talking to her about like, I was like, yeah, I used to be a driver for girls coming to bachelor party. And she's like, yeah, but, and then it just came so quick to like smoking cigarettes and her being like, yeah, sucks, it's just like all these skeezy guys out there waiting to do something like that. And it was just, and then like, by the way, I was a guest's guest at this bachelor party. No one knew it. A guy who I know through another person was like, oh, come, it'll be fun. So I was like, all right, I'll go. And then I'm in the bed, and someone's like, you hear people outside the door going like, who the fuck is this guy even, man? On this girl. And I'm just looking at her like, they don't understand that me and you were clearly falling in love in here, which we were not. And that was it. I left, like, talked to her, but it was like 15, 20 minutes of just like shooting the shit with her in a bathroom, like two high schoolers falling in love.
That's great.
And then she was out of my life.
I worked at that restaurant.
That where all that shit went down?
Shit went down. I had to go back there the next day to do a shift.
Oh, God.
It was just weird to know what debauchery. I don't like when there's a bunch of guys in a room with one or two girls. It's too fucking rapey.
Yeah, there's chanting, a bunch of hooting and hollering around the girls. I said I drove to those bachelor parties before, and it really degenerates into something that's. It took a few times of me doing it to get even like not nervous when that's going on, because it feels that energy. But when everyone's cheering around, screaming a guy, or chanting a guy's name while like a girl's pouring like beer down her tits into his mouth, and you're just like, yeah. And then the girls, depending on the level of like comfort the girls had, different ones with different rules and like kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like a guy sucking beer literally off your nipple. They're like pouring it down her tit into his mouth, over her nipple, tongue on her nipple. He grabs her ass, and then she looks at me with like a, hey, over here. I go, what's the line?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's sucking your tit.
I know. Would he throw a flag at him?
I remember when that little the busboy went in, like the dude who like busses my tables. Who I love. All of a sudden, he just sitting there like, go in, Juan, get one. And Juan's like, oh no. And then he came out with just a smile. I'm like, come on, dude.
I could look back and think about that, and it's like all these dudes sitting around right here, and then like on the table is like a Kurt Schilling signed baseball and like a bottle of like Canadian Club, and people are just looking at like, what can we like throw in her?
No, but also,
like, what could we like?
But also, where's the
it's
corner?
Crazy. What else?
Where somebody filmed the corner of the bachelor party of the guys coming out, because it's two different people. The guy that's going the fuck in a dingy closet in a house because for whatever $100, and you fuck the chick. When you walk out of that, you drunk or whatever, no one walks out and goes, yeah, dude. I sat there one time while this girl took two guys at a time, 7 times, 14 dudes. The only one that didn't go in was the best man didn't go in. But everybody, and the groom.
That's the worst.
The groom.
When the
hooked up with
groom
the girl.
does it,
No, the groom.
like,
No, the groom did.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Yeah, when they drag him in and make him.
Drag him in, and and then you gotta look. You're like, dude, you gotta go to the
groom?
wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that,
buddy. This groom was brought in by himself. He didn't go in with the gangbang girl. He went in with this girl was a little black, skinny, thin crackhead with a Gumby haircut. She had like a fucking Kwame.
Dude, you had left eye
it was,
there, dude.
dude. It was so dude. She was such a just little junkie. Like she looked everywhere she walked. And it was, and a door opened up like a fucking movie, and I saw her one time was blowing the groom, and then next time he was like fucking her from behind, and she was just over noising. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, there it is. But the other girl was.
I do object.
Dude, the other guys
There it is.
going in two at a time with the other girl in the room, who had her period, by the way. The whole thing. Dude. It's a rank world for
It's
sure.
a bad world.
It's a bad world, for sure. By the way, I find this whole thing deplorable. I was trying to make money and see naked chicks. It was all fat kid. It was all innocent fat kid shit. I didn't think they were gonna fuck me or nothing like that. I was like, I'll see them. I'll become friends with them, and then it's cool. Like I'll see them naked. But I didn't think any of them were gonna fuck me at all.
Did you ever want to
And
just
they
go
never
in and go,
did.
hey guys, stop, let's get out of here, and throw like Whitney Houston her out of there, and
Yeah, you do like a James
Oh,
Brown.
yeah.
You like throw a
yeah,
cape
like
over.
the bodyguard, just take her out through the crowded dudes.
I bought the first car I ever drove. I bought her flowers the next day,
Oh jeez.
and then she became a heroin addict. She's probably dead.
She cooked the flowers and shot them.
Oh, dude, I thought she was so pretty.
She resold them as soon as Chubby dropped her off.
Oh, dude,
They
she was
got-
telling me
left the
about her.
tag
She was
on
telling
her.
me about her abusive boyfriend trying to get her kid back from some kind of service,
Oh God.
and she bought herself flowers that night when I was driving her home. You know, after the gig. And she goes,
was tradition.
She goes, I buy myself flowers after I work every night because I deserve them.
Oh,
And then the
God.
next day, I was like, my Romeo moment. I'm bringing a prostitute flowers to her front door. Now she's probably creeped out. I know where she. All she sees is this fat guy now knows where I live and came to my door unannounced. And I go, you deserve somebody else to give you flowers. And we didn't hook up or anything ever. But 2
I
years
don't know
later.
how I am feeling you're a pussy because it's such a beautiful thing, but you just what a fucking
Dildo.
dildo moment.
I brought a prostitute.
I just lost
my husband
11
gonna whoop my ass if I don't come home with that money.
I just thought the
That's a white girl.
$1,100 because of you fat motherfucker. Now bring me back in there.
You gonna buy me
I have to deliver
$1,200 worth of
the song-
flowers, bitch?
You're gonna
Kick
bring-
over the door, the song's still playing, and I place her back
Place her
inside.
back in the-
She didn't want to be saved. Hey, great
And then
news.
it's like she
She didn't want to
swallowed
be
it.
saved. Get it all, daddy.
Did you wash the car before you picked her up that day? I expect you had a song on cue.
You got,
were ready.
you got a nice new car freshener.
Oh yeah, with like half the Vanilla Rama with half the bag on still.
I'm trying. I'll try to put that into my brain well to see if it'll jog anything because I must have, but I don't remember. I never had like a great really car ever, but I try to keep it clean and definitely always like music. I'm the person who would definitely go. These are the first 5 songs. I choreographed the first 5
of
songs
course
to
you
listen
did.
to, so she thinks I'm fucking badass. I still do that.
You do that. You do that when we
Me
tried?
me and Carter Cruz, she's the DJ for the Burt tour the last 2 years. I drove her from San Diego to LA once, and I mean, the songs I was picking, I was like, let me make her think I'm the coolest fucking motherfucker ever. She's asked me 80 times. She goes, send me a playlist of what. She goes, what was that playlist? I went, there was no playlist. I was just calling them out individually after each one. I saw where the vibe was and
You
went to
did
the
that
next
with me
one.
last week when we came from the stand to your house.
You can twist it into a zone, dude.
Twist everybody into a
Were
zone.
you trying to fuck me last week?
No, I was just trying. I wanted you to think it was cool. The
You got
music was
flowers,
good.
You know
Coming.
what? It works.
Yeah,
Well, when you get twisted in a zone with Jay, it gets deep.
twist jump in
dude.
a zone.
It's so funny thinking about you being the dude that drove them there because at the Stags, that dude was such a shithead, but that couldn't have been you. Connecticut,
No.
you at
No,
Stags.
I did
was
the
a
opposite.
cocksucker.
I did the opposite of being a dick. I saw very quick. I'm not going to carry a gun. They told me
they
they
had
said the
guns.
older guys had guns.
Yeah, they had guns.
I wasn't going to carry a gun. That was terrifying sounding to me. So I went in there much more with like
Nunchucks?
no
Flowers.
nunchucks.
Jay
No,
had
it was more
nunchucks
like
and flowers.
here's the thing.
Throwing
At the end
stars.
of the day, not that things can't go haywire, but there's a paper trail. There's a credit card attached to this situation, and it's the best man usually. They have the contact as the person who paid, and find that person, the guy who paid, and real quick, chummy with that guy. I would never be like, so the girls do blah blah. I was always like trying to be funny and just like I was like
Yeah.
we're cool because and just Because at the end of the day, that guy would become your best friend. When you go, it's like, hey, buddy, she's getting like bummed out that like your guys are being a little grabby with whatever. And then that guy would most of the time would be like, guys, fucking be cool, man. She's, and that guy would kind of do it for you. So no, I took the route of always trying to be like that. But I've had to throw chicks over like my shoulder and get the fuck out of a room before.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lion's den of just
Well,
dudes.
it's 15-1 on the best situation.
So you had to throw a chick over your shoulder and go through
Atlantic
crowd.
City.
Really?
No, not a crowd. It was
Oh,
just get out of the room. When you're in the hallway, they're not going to do anything. And it was never like people were grabbing at me and I'd like pull away from. It was a situation where I was like, "We're going to go now," because like the guys are starting to be assholes. They're saying shit like, "What are you going to do about it if we do this kind of shit?"
To her or to you?
To me. Because at that point I've already at least been like, "Hey guys, come on, man."
What were you gonna do?
Huh?
What were you gonna do?
What I did, throw over my shoulder and escape. And if they got her, leave myself.
Start comedy. Did you have a knife or a bat or anything? Anything in the car?
He did have a karate shirt tucked in.
I had a karate. Yeah,
You had a gi underneath.
I dressed like Dalton at the end of Roadhouse for every gig. Every gig I wore a gi tucked in the jeans.
Sweatpants, no underwear.
Yeah, I think I had a boot knife in my cowboy boots.
Oh, I can't believe you did that with no weapon. I think that must have been the first time I saw a gun too. Was at one of those because the dude showed up with like a pink duffel bag and threw dildos and a gun, like fucking basically on the table, and was like, "You guys
could
know
go
what
either
to
way."
do." Yeah, he's like, "You guys know what to do, but don't take it too far. I'm right over there." And then it's just like dudes shoving other dudes' faces into her puss and shit, and it's just
so
like
fucking
weird and uncomfortable. and it's
there's
like,
nothing
I
about
know.
that.
And I'm looking back at that dude like. That guy's got a gun and dildos. Like we're getting
nothing.
hit with something.
There's nothing about a guy shoving another guy's face into a.
No, it's
Well, but here's
disgusting.
the issue. Also, is like with the girls, like they're willing to do different things. Each girl's got like their own lines. So I drove girls that were like genuinely putting themselves through med school. One girl was. So it was like this guy's only looking at my pussy. Can you say something? I'm like, I don't. You're naked. That's what they paid you to come do. And then there's other girls that were like, it goes. I hate to ask you this, but they're asking if you would suck their dicks for $10 a piece, and they'll be like, 15. Oh, all right.
It's like it's med school, not grad school.
No. I'm saying like that. The med school girl wouldn't do anything like anything.
Sure, yeah.
And then there's another girl who's just trying to get her kids back
Literally.
from social services. It was like, I'll only do a blow bang, but no one's gonna fuck me, but I'll suck everyone's dick.
So some girls would not do anything. They would just get naked, dance, and some of the parties weren't sex or were
some of them were just
some of them were just dancing. Dancing, blah blah blah. They throw money and it's over.
Tricks and stuff
I don't
like
mind
that,
a dance, like a girl dancing
Sure.
and getting naked is fine. But once it got into sex, I was like, it was just weird.
Well,
It
when
gets
it's like you're
dark.
watching like your softball
It's
team,
dark.
like you're at their most
dark.
like this is where you don't want to see your buddies. You know what I mean? Like
Because
this is when you'd be jerking off at home, and now you're like touching a girl's butthole like it's a fucking elevator, and it's like this is weird.
You don't want to see your friend's fuck face,
Right? That's what I mean.
Because there's something that happens with they get into that fucking
Yeah, and then when we get kicked out of the American Legion, now it's like werewolves are running around town. Like everybody just goes to the strip club and fucking.
I have the story I told on Ari's show one time about me, Kurt, and my buddy Glenn fucking a chick, and Kurt. I remember that day, like watching Kurt fuck and his face. I remember thinking to myself, I was like, where does he go? Like it was like a four dead-eyed looking just.
Yeah.
He's like, it looked like how horses fuck.
Dude,
Do you know what I mean? It's like make, come, sperm, come out. So weird.
It's like a bull.
Zone, dude. Total zone out. I mean, I was looking at him in the face, and he wasn't looking at me at all.
He's looking through you.
I had that with Sherrod in Vegas, and the girl we were with a girl, flight attendant, Continental, really cute girl, and she was down. She's like, "Look, we can fool around, but we're not having sex." She was naked in the room, and she was like, "I have my period." And you could see the little thing coming out. She had like a little OB or something in there, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Whatever you want to do, I don't care." And he was like, "Nah, player, we're fucking." And he tugged on it like a light switch and pulled it out and then threw it on my wall.
Oh, that's going to be the deposit for sure.
I almost threw up, and she was like, "If you don't mind, I don't mind." I was like, "Ugh."
Wow.
And then
Yeah, did you mind?
I minded. First of all,
Did you
it
do
was,
it
it was
still?
on my wall, and it was my room.
No.
And
Oh
it-
yeah.
it
Oh,
looked
if you
like
You're
don't
never gonna unsee that.
Just like art. You know what I mean?
like a wacky wall walker.
And then they started having sex, and the way he had sex, it was almost like he latched onto her, like his hand, like almost like a, I don't know, like just an animal.
I think my friends, the most you're gonna
Grabbed
see.
her like she was a tree, and just and then, and he's got such a big piece. I just backed away and just sat down.
That's
on the
almost what I'm
couch.
saying. There's something I feel like this. If I fuck with any friend, like buddies of mine in the room, they're not going to see the way I make love for sure, but definitely not the way that I fuck either. You're going to get the most watered down, functional, like sex situation because how can you do that? You don't want your friend. It's a weird, like, to just zone into sex in front of somebody watching your just like face you make or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I don't want to, like, Mike seeing me or Bobby seeing me, my ass go like pumping into a chick doesn't bother me as much as if I got close and I was like, you like it?
Yeah.
I don't want my friends to hear me say that genuinely. Yeah. You like it?
I was on the front. And Sherrod's head kept coming near, and I remember having to like hold his head over because I didn't want it to touch my junk.
Oh,
and I was
God.
just sitting there at one point holding his head, and I was like, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Have to hold Sherrod's sweaty head. He's not even here right now. He's some other place.
That's crazy.
Even though, by the way, this happens in porn so much, but I would also think it's weird doing this. Holding a woman's ass cheeks open so a guy could shove his dick in there seems pretty weird too.
and then all of a sudden you get
Like, you
another
go-
hand
you
there.
go, get in there, dog.
Yo, I got the door. I don't know. I don't.
Here, have at it.
I don't know. I had to clean up when they left too.
Oh,
It was disgusting. It was. I don't like blood. I hate blood.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
like. But
Blood,
some guys are into
sweat,
some guys
tears,
are
everything was there.
literally.
Some guys were into period stuff. They don't.
Who's into it? Dracul?
Anybody in here?
Vlad the Impaler?
into it or will put up with it.
No, there's definitely a difference between being into it or you're saying we'll deal
If
with it.
it's
Some
like
people just
I'm
don't-
going away for a week.
Some people just don't give a shit.
Sherrod did not give a shit. He tugged that thing out and
Yeah,
threw
that's
it
just-
on a wall.
Well,
and-
could you find out what day we were in? Because, I mean, day one, when there's just Skinner's innards coming at you.
Skinner, give me back my bullets.
just pouring out of you.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah, when
It
you
wa-
pull off and it's like Post-it notes of fucking uteral lining all over your
Yeah.
dick. If it's a little blood streak, we could all live with that. But if it's like a fucking purple flap of something, that's no good, dude.
my-
Yeah, when there's clots inside your fucking.
My leather ottoman I had to clean
Oh.
because she was sitting on it with him at one point.
Afterwards?
And I went
just dumping?
And I went over there.
Just
and
leaking?
I had to clean it up, and then it was one of the grossest sexual experiences I've ever
Bobby's
had.
just a fuck Zamboni.
Was she hot?
She was smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
Flight attendant.
Smoking hot.
A flight attendant 7 is a 9.
Yeah, she was
So I'm
hot.
about a working chick.
She was at the pool and she was flirting with me, and then he came over, and then he just took his piece out of the side of his shorts at the pool.
Jesus.
And it was so big.
What was this, 90 what?
When was I married? Hang on now.
Reverse math.
It was way before me and Dawn. It was at the beginning when we moved back to New York.
Late 90s, early 2000s?
Earlier than that. Maybe that. Yeah, maybe there. Maybe 90s, late 90s.
Because when I came up here, Sherrod,
Maybe early
I
2000s.
think Sherrod started comedy right around the same time as me.
It was bad though. It was like he's just a fuck machine. Right? He's just I'm a more of a I told you that. I like to
You're
kiss.
a love maker.
I like to
Yeah.
I like slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck
what-
a girl with Bobby and have him
I
making love
want
to her.
love with ease a touch.
I'm putting a wet finger by her butt. Oh, and Bobby's over there. Bellissimo.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I want to love her with slow.
I don't. I
Easy
do. I
touch.
didn't want to see it. And then I think at the end when they were done, she felt bad for me, and she was like, "Come here." She was over on the couch and she got on all fours, and I was like, I went over and she's like, "Go ahead," and I was like,
Go ahead.
"I go, I'm good," because he was.
Yeah,
So,
that's yeah.
it looked like it was turned inside out.
It's like, you want a bite of this burger? That's
Yeah,
fucking.
no, exactly. Dude.
Oh my god! She just went over and put wings on Bobby.
I got United wings.
You got United wings.
I got Continental wings on me.
Well, you got to
Bobby
clean the
Kelly,
Red Wings
get
off
your
your fucking
wings.
sheets, dude.
Yick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
I don't.
never
I don't
had-
know. I've again. I'm trying to get myself back in a headspace. I mean, there's definitely a time where if a girl said I have my period and it was like a one-time hookup, I'd ask like, oh, how far along? How deep into it are you? Where I think now I would just
You start clicking.
take the word period in my life as like, that's fine. Never mind.
I'm done.
Never mind. Yeah.
I did that. I lived with this Maria Falzoni, who was a big stand-up comedian in Boston.
What do you
And,
mean big?
Like, she was big in Boston. She was.
What
like,
does that mean? Like
famous?
what's thin in Boston?
No, not fat.
Oh,
Like.
she was Boston big, which is like 500.
No. She was like popular in Boston.
Yeah.
And this gay guy, Brian, he was really great. Tried to fuck me all the time. He would just show up.
Doesn't sound great.
He was. I found it flattering.
Yeah,
He was a.
it's
Called
nice
a sex
when-
pest if
he was-
you were a nerd.
He was starting to be a weatherman, and that's when he told me, he goes, all weathermen are gay. And I was like, no way. And then if you look at weathermen,
They're gay.
most of them are gay. And I remember a lot of times he would just be in my doorway, a silhouette. He'd be like, can I come snuggle? I'd be like, no, Brian.
Wow.
He'd be like, he'd get mad. Like, it's just snuggling.
Thunder buddies.
It's
like
just snuggles.
30% chance of jizz rain in your face tonight.
I'm like, dude, you can't snuggle with me. I'm sorry,
Can we
dude.
just watch a movie and hold hands?
But
Hardly horny.
He had cable in his room. I had nothing. So I brought this chick over one night, and we went into his room because he was away. He was out for the night. Went into his room, and then we started banging. And then I think something, I don't know what happened. She said she wasn't on her period, but then her pussy broke. Something happened where she started bleeding, and it's not my penis.
You hit a valve with that big picky, dude.
I don't know what I hit. There was blood all over his gay bed.
Oh no.
And let me tell you something, dude. I've never cleaned up that fast. I was like, you got to go. He's coming home.
What'd you get it out with?
I threw away his sheets. I put my sheets on his bed.
Oh my god.
And I just threw his sheets out, and I just redid everything.
And you just acted. Did you flip the
I
mattress?
was, you know me, I throw up at everything. It didn't get on the mattress. He had 2 sheets on his bed, thank God, and it was just blood all over the sheets. I took all the sheets,
Yeah.
threw them out, and I was just waiting for the day where he was going to be like, "Did you change my sheets?"
Oh,
but thank God he
man.
didn't. But yeah, it was
No.
bad.
Imagine
I mean,
if you
by
just
the way,
left
you could
the
just,
blood.
I mean, yeah, if you should have just left the blood and be like, dude, that looks like gay sex.
Yeah, that's a hate crime in there.
He goes, that looks like gay sex, all right. I mean, I assume it was going to bleed the first couple times.
I fooled
Yeah,
around.
I didn't even think of that.
I fooled
Yeah.
around with this chick on the beach one time. My buddy had a house near the beach, and then we went back, and I fucked her in his roommate's room, and I threw my shorts on his brand new Mac computer, and I guess I had sand in my pockets, and it fucking wrecked the computer. And I had to give him money for like a new keyboard and shit, and there was sand all over his room, and yeah, definitely not blood on a gay man's bed, but I fucked somebody's room up once too.
Fucking on the beach was always it always sounded great.
I only did it once.
Yeah,
terrible.
The lifeguard chair was my reason to go. I was like, oh, let's go up on the lifeguard chair and like smoke weed or whatever, and then we'd go up there and start fucking making out. And
Lifeguard
shit. It
chair,
was
that's a good call.
It was a cool spot.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, and then you got down on the sand and rolled around.
I ate a
bit.
chick out on a lifeguard chair once.
Oh, nice. That
put-
actually is a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
you
put her
sit
up-
down below.
Yeah, you just stand on the ladder, and she's up top. And
Where's that on Shark Tank?
what's that?
So where's that idea on Shark Tank?
The old
Mike
goblin
really said, like,
chair.
he goes, oh, that's actually, that's
If I had
great
a
for eating
time
pussy.
machine, I would have went back.
That's really good. I only fucked on the beach the one time, and I just kneed so much sand into her pussy with my. It was a low boardwalk.
She shit out a
It was very.
sandcastle.
It wasn't like a boardwalk. Like, you walked under it and then like fucked in the sand. It was like you had to crawl under. And
She
so
queefed
you
out a
couldn't get up
crab
a bunch.
cake.
And I mean, yeah, I kneed just a pile right into her sniz, and my condom hit the sand and chicken cutleted, and then I sanded out her insides for a better part of a minute.
Fucking chicken
That
cutlet.
poor girl.
Great.
That was my prom weekend. That girl, everything went haywire that weekend with that. I brought her out. That's the first night where the girl said she wanted to do. She loved tapioca pudding and she wanted to eat tapioca pudding off of me.
Ugh.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, Grateful
Isn't-
Dead fan.
There
She
you
was.
go.
She had the Bears tattoo. And
Oh, her.
She fucking she Abe Lincoln hatted my dick with a fucking snack pack. and all the tapioca's got in my dick hair. And then we went in the shower. That was a very small stall shower, and she was on her knees in the shower blowing me while the tapiocas were rinsed out. And then when I was going to come, I started pumping my hips, and I clunked the back of her head into the shower thing.
Jesus Christ,
It's so
dude.
funny. It's
And then we went on the
tapioca.
beach.
Tapioca.
What is she fucking? What's her name? Helga.
She was the tapioca.
I
Would
love-
she tie her bonnet and leave after?
Can you put ribbon candy in my asshole? Tapioca. What
Girl,
a shit
we're the
pudding.
tapioca, dude.
Tapioca is such an old lady fucking pudding.
Is it tapioca, the pudding with the little jizzies in them
Yeah,
already?
yeah. Those things get way in your dick hair. That's why you have to.
It's like that was like boba tea before boba tea.
Yes, and what happens is very quickly your dick heats up the pudding to turn into complete fluid, and then you're left with a bunch of clear balls in your dick hair. And then so we went in the shower to rinse those out, and she was going to blow me, and then I clunked her head into the wall. And then we went to bed, and the next day I kneed the pussy in her and sanded her pussy for her. It was a rough weekend. But she was molested, so it was far from the worst.
Abe Lincoln hat with the fucking tapioca. That's fucking.
Oh, dude,
what a
she
funny
capped it.
visual, dude.
Capped it. She just capped my dick
I
with
mean,
a snack pack.
But she's done it before because she has a technique.
Cozy?
Yeah,
What's that brand? It's like
totally.
Cozy something?
Fruit on the bottom. Fucking get in there and stir it.
I used to use a spoon, but that was too much.
Wow.
Now I just
Eat it right off the dick.
right on the dick.
Now I just crown the king. That
Dude,
is
I mean,
amazing.
finding tapiocas in your dick hair, you can really get those things out there, and it's just little clear balls.
Wow.
I've always hated food and sex.
It's not my thing at all. I
Yeah,
couldn't give
no.
a shit.
After 9.5 weeks, that was like a
So
thing
dumb.
girls wanted to do.
That
Yeah.
does not hold up, man.
No, it's
No,
gross.
Stupid.
it's fun
Yeah.
to think of, and then you're in there and
Chocolate
you're
sauce,
like, eh.
chocolate
sauce,
sauce
stupid.
on a vagina
So
tastes
dumb.
like vagina and chocolate sauce.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's like, yeah, a fucking
chocolate covered rubber band.
chocolate armpit.
Mickey Rourke was all weird. He's all
I know.
sexual
Yeah.
A lot of
In that
people are
movie.
saying that's what turned his face like that.
One time, a girl blew me with an ice cube in her mouth. She goes, "Get an ice cube." That was like the first time I ruined a threesome. I had
That's the
two
first
gir-
of many times.
I ruined two. I'm so pissed. The first one though, two friends. I go, "I'm going to bed." She goes, "I'm coming with you." So she comes in. We're fucking around. Her friend starts banging on the door, and I thought it was my buddies breaking my balls. And I go, "Get the fuck out of here!" And she opened the door.
I want to taste.
No top. She's like, "I wanted to get in there." I'm like, "Come on, come on!" I threw the first one off, which pissed her off because the other one was hotter.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, Mike.
Yeah,
I
what?
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I was
Holy
young.
shit,
I
get
go-
outta
I
here,
go,
you
this
pig.
one.
Even in sports, they'd be like, "All right, we're gonna."
Yeah,
Hang
it was
on
a bad move.
hang on a second.
It was a bad move.
Let's give her a few more pitches and
Yeah.
see if they can get through the inning.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like, why
let,
don't
they
you
let
go-
Bledsoe get back in for a game before they fucking told him to beat it.
I go, "Why don't you go get yourself some apple juice? Maybe take a leak." And I bang your
Hey,
hot
take a lap.
Take a lap, kid. Go hit the showers.
Do me a favor, go get the trash can out front real quick and pick it back up.
That got her mad, so she was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And then she made her friend leave. But she had an ice cube, and she was blowing me with an ice cube, and that felt pretty incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I would hate that.
I hated it.
I don't
liked
like
it.
cold pools or anything, so I feel like I'd be like,
I'm happy with a regular blowjob.
Yeah, no, totally.
I want the warmness.
yeah, and
Because
wet.
you're trying to recreate a vagina.
This was like-
that's like fucking a dead girl.
yeah,
This was like young kid
That's why I call you
ecstasy
cunt
stuff.
mouths.
I fucked up a threesome too. I had this beautiful, cute little pixie girl. We used to.
But her husband wasn't into it.
No, she didn't have. This was when I was young. This is
No,
sexy.
yeah, the
Bubba.
joke was that the threesome was going to be you, her husband.
I got
and
it.
her.
But I don't like. I don't like that game.
That's why, because you're right wing.
I'm right.
Right wing Bobby.
She came over. I always talked about a threesome with her, joking, sexual fantasy stuff. And then she finally came over one night, and with the girl, this beautiful Italian girl, big nosed. And she, as she's walking up my stairs, she's like, "It's happening," like kind of cocky.
Wow.
It's happening. And then we went up. We all started kissing. I like to make out, and I'm making out with this. I don't even know this girl. And then the other girl was way hotter. And then I stuck my finger in her butt, and she was so into it. So I just rolled over and started making out with her, and I pushed the other one off my futon, and she smacked her head on the corner of the futon. And I heard "ow," but I just was so into this other situation.
You got other things in your hands.
And then around 5 minutes later, I just turned around. She was standing over us with an ice pack on her head. She went to the kitchen and got an ice pack because she really hurt her
got an
head.
ice pack?
She goes, "I'm leaving." And then she just left, and the other girl was like, I guess I gotta leave too, and slowly just walked out as my finger came out of her butt.
Oh.
I was just so sad.
Reverse doorbell.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Reverse
I'm realizing
reverse
doorbell.
as I'm thinking, any of my few real world like pull threesomes, like two girls, nothing Christine involved, were all morbidly obese. I mean, I'm thinking about it now. Morbidly obese.
You have them categorized as charity work.
I think I was just young and I was like, I can't believe this is happening with two girls. But I mean,
I told
yikes.
you about the one where white girl and a black girl, and I was kissing one, and then I was kissing the other, and then I accidentally, I guess, I not grabbed, but I like held her by the back of her neck. One of them. It was not like
Which one?
The white girl.
Oh.
And she fucking flipped. She was like got up and was like, no, like I hit like when you're not supposed to.
That's
like,
where her father used to grab her.
I think so. I think like when you're not supposed to like pet a dog from the left, something like they freak out. She lost her shit and she's like, that's it. No, I got to get out of it. And like, I don't know what the fuck happened to her with her neck, but I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't. And I'm like, well, you don't have to leave, right? And she's like, fucking, we're out. So both times I like pissed off one friend.
It's the worst when you have to say sorry during sex.
I know, you're
just
elbowing
the
a boner down.
Mike,
Going, I'm sorry.
the black one wasn't going to stay behind. I'll do it.
I was like,
All right, we got to take a break. Mike Finoia is here.
He's on tour. He's got dates coming up in Long Island, Cleveland, Ohio, Chicago, and more. For tickets and all tour dates, go to MikeFinoia, FINOIA.com, and follow Mike on socials at Mike Finoia. And Robert Kelly, he's going to be at the Funny Bone in St. Louis, June 14th and 15th.
It's this weekend.
That's this weekend. After that, he's going to be in Timonium, Maryland at Magoobies, and then Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And you can see him every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. to Fat Black Pussycat Lounge at the Comedy Cellar. Not tonight, because we're going to see Gary Clark Jr. For tickets and all tour dates, visit punchup.live/Robert Kelly.
Big J's going to be in the fully loaded tour festival, touring all over the country throughout June. And then the Funny Bone in Richmond, Virginia, July 12th and the 13th. Borgata, Atlantic City, July 27th. For tickets and all other tour dates, bigjcomedy.com.